Hi everyone, welcome back to our English class. Today we're going to learn about conditional sentence. You must have been familiar with conditional sentence because I know in your senior high school, conditional sentence must be one of the topic during the English time. But in this college time, you will learn deeper about conditional sentence when you need to use conditional sentence in your essay and also the types of conditional sentence and the examples. So, without taking any longer time, I would like to share my screen and talk about this conditional sentence. So, what is actually conditional sentence? As its name, conditional sentence are used to speculate about what could happen, what might have happened, and what we wish would happen. In English, most sentences using the conditional contain the word if. There are four types of conditional sentence from type 0 to type 3. So we're going to start from the zero conditional. The zero conditional is used for when the time being referred to is now or always and the situation is real and possible. So normally in the text that use present time or present tense, you will find the zero conditional sometimes during the text, in the middle of the text. And the zero conditional is often used to refer to general truths. So this is suitable for you that you want to write, for example, a science or recent knowledge or information. You you might need to use conditional sentence during writing your essay. The tense in both parts of the sentence is the simple present. In zero conditional sentence, the word if can usually be replaced by the word when without changing the meaning. But normally, in general, most of the time we use if rather than when. So this is the formula when you need to write about zero conditional sentence. So there is if plus simple present and then comma and then simple present again. Let's have a look at the example. This is what I find in a National Geographic. This is about IT consultancy and business consultancy, and because this is general truth and some important information, so uh, some of the sentences use conditional sentence, especially the zero conditional sentence. So let's read what is that? Some sentences, and then you can continue at home to read the whole paragraph of this text. So if you extrapolate this movement, you come to a situation where digital design, branding, IT consultancy, and business consultancy have to work closely together, become one. So this is the first sentence is using zero conditional, and you can see that the tenses used is present tense before the comma and present tense again after the comma. Digital design and branding need to work as one. If you only take the digital design road, you miss out on the emotional side, the mental images, and the helicopter view of an organization's image. So from these sentences, you can find the second zero conditional. And then if you continue, you will find another zero conditional and so on. So during this text, you will find many zero conditional. So, and then the second type is type 1. So type 1 refer to the present or future where the situation is real. So the type 1 conditional refers to a possible condition and its probable result. In the sentences, the if clause is in the simple present and the main clause is in the simple future. So if the zero conditional uses both simple present before the comma and after the comma, the type 1 conditional use different tenses in one sentence. So before the comma, you need simple present, and after the comma, you need simple future. So this is the formula. I put it below the explanations. So this is the example of what is that? Type 1 conditional. As in all conditional sentence, the order of the clause is not fixed. So you may have to rearrange the pronouns and adjust the punctuation when you change the order of the clauses. But still, the meaning is identical. So this is the example. I also changed the arrangement, but that's totally fine. So the example, if Sally is late again, I will be mad. So you can see that if Sally is late again is present tense, and then I will be mad is the future tense. And you can also change the arrangement. So I will be mad if Sally is late again. It is the same with the second example. So the function of the type 1 conditional refers to a possible condition and its probable result. The sentences are also based on fact, like the zero conditional, and they are used to make statements about the real world and about particular situation. We often use such sentences to give warnings. If type 1 conditional sentences, the time is the present or future and the situation is real. So this is more example about type 1 conditional. If I have time, I'll finish that letter. What will you do if you miss the plane? Nobody will notice if you make a mistake. So during our daily life, we often use a conditional sentence actually, especially the zero conditional and also the type 1 conditional. Now, this is more example about what's that a type 1 conditional. So you can also use models in the main clause instead of the future tense to express the degree of certainty, permission, and a recommendation about the outcome. So the example is if you drop that glass, it might break. So it's not only using like the simple future, but you can also use models. Next, we are moving on to the type 2 of conditional sentence. So type 2 conditional is used to refer to a time that is now or any time and a situation that is unreal. So this is different from the first type of conditional. If the first type conditional telling you about the real situation or fact, so this type 2 conditional is telling you about unreal. These sentences are not based on fact, of course, because this is unreal. So the type 2 conditional is used to revert to a hypothetical condition and its probable result. Type 2 conditional sentence use simple past, and then the main clause uses the present conditional. So let's have a look uh, of the example of conditional type 2. If it rains, you would get wet. You would get wet if it rains. So I changed the arrangement. Also, the second example, if you went to bed earlier, you wouldn't be so tired. And then if you change the arrangement, you wouldn't be so tired if you went to bed earlier. So any arrangement, both are fine. So the function of this type 2 refers to unlikely or hypothetical condition and its probable result. So the time is now or any time and the situation is hypothetical. So if the weather wasn't so bad, we will go to the park. But the weather is bad, so we cannot go. So if I was the Queen of England, which is impossible, I would give everyone a chicken. And then the fact is that I'm not the queen, so I will not give everyone the chicken. So it is correct and very common to say if I were. Now, this is probably the most confusing part of the second type of conditional sentence because in this case, normally I use was, but in this case, I use were instead of uh, I was because this shows subjunctive mood and this show the unreal situation of the second conditional sentence. So these are more examples. If I were taller, I would buy this dress. So because I'm not that tall, so I didn't buy this dress. So this is the type of second conditional sentence. So type 2 of conditional sentence use fact. That's normally the opposite of the type 2 of conditional sentence itself. So, type 2 conditional sentence also allows you to use models in the main clause instead of would to express the degree of certainty, permission, or also a recommendation about the outcome. So this is the example. We might buy a larger house if we had more money. So we use might and we use could and also other models. So we are arriving on type 3 conditional. The type 3 conditional is used to refer to a time that is in the past and a situation that is contrary to the reality. So this is the higher type to express the unreal of the reality. So even it is the contrary of the reality. So the fact they are based on are the opposite of what is expresses. The type 3 conditional is used to refer to an unreal past condition and it's probably past result. So the formula is if plus past perfect plus perfect conditional, and these are the examples. If it had rain you would have gotten wet. You would have gotten wet if it had rain. So the type 3 of conditional sentence are also have a fact. So this is more explanation about what I mean by the fact. So if I had worked harder I would have passed the exam, but the fact is that I didn't work hard so I didn't pass the exam. So this sentences shows truly hypothetical and unreal because it is now too late for the condition or its result to exist. So type 3 conditional sentence also can also use modals in the main clause as what is in the type 1 and also type 2. So these are the example. If I had worked harder, I might have passed the exam. Only the tenses used is different. So these are all the explanation about all the four types of conditional sentence from type 0 to type 3. If you have any question you can post in the online discussion forum, and you can also ask me by email and WhatsApp anytime if you have question. So thank you for paying attention to this video explanation. I hope this video uh, will help you to have better understanding about conditional sentence. So see you in the next videos.